the defense attorney who needed interpretation been able to interview that particular defendant?
Not yet, Your Honor. I was waiting for Spanish interpreter, Your Honor.
Okay, can we do that breakout now by any chance?
And also, I have an announcement to make. ACDC, there's a construction going on. So I was told that they may not be able to log in today because of there's a possibility that they may have a power outage. So my clients at ACDC all filed a waiver of appearance today.
All of them.
Two of them. They only have a two.
Okay. Okay. All right. As soon as we can do that breakout with Miss Chancey, I would appreciate it. Miss Chancey, please raise your right hand.
Oh, and Your Honor, there's another
And
breakout.
one second. Miss Chancey, do you swear and affirm that the testimony that you will make an accurate translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your skills, knowledge, and ability?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right. Thank you. Mr. McLean, you were going to tell me something else?
There's another breakout needed, number 4.
Okay. Is it anything beyond an MH?
Well, just the nature of medications and such and the reasons.
Okay. All right, let's get started, everyone. Good afternoon. This is the state expedited accusations calendar in the state court of Fulton County, Georgia. I'm Judge Melanie Williams, and at this calendar today, we will address Mr. Bonds for those individuals who've been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have the right to counsel today. As you can see, I'm conducting this hearing over the internet it's being live streamed and recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this particular proceeding. When I ask if you understand your rights, that is what I am referring to. Those who receive a signature bond will be reset further notice. Those who receive surety or cash are going to the state on purpose calendar. Miss Lewis, what is my reset date?
The reset date, Judge, is going to be August the 29th.
All right, so those who receive surety or cash are going to the August 29th state all purpose, whereby aspects of the case, including bond or contact or other provisions, can be revisited. Okay, who do we have first?
You can go with position number 3, Mr. Hernandez.
Okay. And what position needs interpretation?
Position number 9.
Okay. And will that position be taken to a separate courtroom soon?
Yes, as soon as the officer gets here.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Hernandez, your case is 24 CR 00577 You're charged with theft by shoplifting. Do you understand your rights? I'm assuming that's a yes. Mr. Howard?
9 total, 2024, possession of a Schedule 2. Got an open case out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, unlawful drug paraphernalia. The possession of a Schedule 2 is out of Gwinnett. 2017, theft by deception. 2015, shoplifting conviction. And he has another shoplifting out of Fulton. That's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sessiano?
Good afternoon, Judge. It's my understanding that the shoplifting is he's got an open shoplifting in Forsyth County for 2 counts. This incident took place at a Target at the Target in Sandy Springs at 5600 Roswell Road. This incident happened back on April 26th. However, Target didn't realize the shoplifting had occurred immediately. They were doing an inventory the following month in May, and they realized they were missing some items, and they went back and watched the cameras. And the items in question were 2 Ember mugs. These are temperature controlled mugs valued at about $150 a piece. The total amount that was shoplifted was $262. Upon reviewing the camera footage, they saw the defendant take the items, then he goes out of view in the camera in an aisle and then comes back out with having Target bags and then walks out the front of the store, swinging them over the theft monitors. Your Honor, the open case that he has in Forsyth County is the same type of situation. It's shoplifting from Target, and that happened on May 18th and May 28th, and still him bringing the bags and swinging them over the retail theft camera. In light of his open cases and his history, Your Honor, the state's requesting a $500 good bond. In this case, a stay away from the target on Roswell Road, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. McLean.
Yes, Your Honor, the dollar two items for 143 and 119. And he has a job welding and he does mechanic work. He is unemployed currently, but he does have, well, I've got unemployed all, let's see. The welding and the auto mechanics, he's basically going to be losing his job, I believe, because of being in jail. He's got that hold, and so he'll qualify for the public defender because he's going to be sent to that hold. That's going to cause him to lose his job. So $500 might as well be $1 million. If Your Honor could see clear to give him a signature bond, that'll send him on to his Forsyth matter. Contemporaneous May versus June or July or August. So I'm sorry, April 26th was the date of this. The state pointing out correctly that this was a delayed arrest. So April and May was the time period of all of this. And he's going to be coming up against some pretty shocking reality because of Georgia law and recidivism. So I would ask the court to consider a signature bond, send him on.
All right. Defendant is going to receive a $500 surety bond. He's to stay away from that location and have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. All right. Is there anything additional?
Nothing
Nothing.
from the state.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir.
Wait, because I did tell you to go that way. We go to position number 10, Mr. Smith.
All right, Mr. Smith, good afternoon. Your case is 24 CR 005782G. You're charged with simple battery family violence. Do you understand, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
2024 probation. Got an open battery DV in state court. It's 19 CR 002859G. They got on here another simple battery family violence open. We got in Cobb County. On probation out of Cobb, possession of meth with intent. 2023 probation, 2018 violation of family violence order, trespass conviction. 2015 simple battery DV conviction.
Thank you. Ms. Howard?
Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant in this case also has he's out on a warrant right now from an incident in October of 2023, and it looks like he received a bond, and that case was never unlinked from the magistrate case, so it should be charged. We just can't unlink it today. That's booking number 2317768. That's a battery against a woman named Parisa Shannon, visible swelling to the left eye. So he was in the Fulton County Jail within the last year for a similar situation. We just haven't charged that case yet, but I'll be doing that on Monday. This gentleman has misdemeanor stalking conviction out of Fulton County. Battery family violence that's open in bench warrant status. That's the 19 CR 002859G case that was just mentioned. This is an incident that occurred on the 16th of August between 3 and 5 in the afternoon. Police went to 7350 Campbellton Road, Southwest. That's at the park at Riverview Apartments, excuse me. 911 was called related to a domestic fight between a boyfriend and a girlfriend. The victim, Mrs. Jasmine Brock, B-R-O-C-K, I believe she's on the Zoom, reported that she and the defendant lived together. While police were approaching the scene, they see someone matching the defendant's description walking near the BP gas station. They make contact with him and get his ID. He's identified it as Montrell Smith. He was taken in the patrol vehicle, detained, and returned to the location. The victim was spoken to, and she reported that they'd argued, and that during that argument, the defendant picked her up and body slammed her on the ground and then fled on foot. She wasn't seen to have any injuries, and that's why this is a simple battery family violence. As I said before, the defendant is a convicted felon for multiple battery convictions. There's one out of Louisiana from 2012 that I don't see a disposition on, but I would note, and the reason why I mentioned the case from October, his last arrest, that is actually very similar. And it says that this lady, a different lady, was punched in the face and then slammed on the ground. Your Honor, we also I think that's all. I do think that there's a felony family violence or maybe a probation violation that just occurred in Fulton County here in June. We'd be asking for a $4,000 good bond, Your Honor. Absolutely no contact with the victim in this case. Ms. Brock, stay away from the location. That's 7350-604 Campbellton Road Southwest, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Our office has been in touch with Ms. Brock today. She reported that she and the defendant have been together for a year, and that she's left the incident location, is living with her mom. She said that she and the defendant have their usual arguments, but it's never gone this far, and she confirmed.
All right. We'll need you to unmute, raise your right hand.
Judge, she needs to put on a shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
ask, are you
One-
properly dressed, Ms. Brock?
I have on a shirt and
You are
like a
still in
tank
court.
top.
We just have to remind you that. Make sure you're properly dressed. Lift the camera so that we're not looking quite. There we go. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony that we have to be able to hear you in a quiet location, Ms. Brock? Where are you?
I'm
You're
in
where?
mom's house once.
Can you step somewhere where we can see quietly? Okay.
I can put my son in the house really quick. Yes, ma'am. 1 second. Okay.
All right, Ms. Brock. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to give you some instructions before I hear from you. What I'm most concerned with today is any concerns you have for your personal safety and desire for contact with the defendant. I will let you make a brief statement, and if whether you would disagree with what Ms. Allen said, it's not of critical importance at this juncture. This is a bond hearing, and as this is a misdemeanor offense, the defendant is entitled to a bond today. You will have other opportunities to flesh out the facts of the case. With those instructions, Ms. Brock, what would you like to tell me?
I was just gonna say it had been a but I'm not it's not to the point where I feel like he's a threat to me. I'm not scared of him. I just feel like a lot has taken place. He don't have like any family here. So I have left the home so that he could reside there if he was to get a bond. I have left my home. He has no family. I'm not scared of him. I just feel like it was just a dispute. I don't know if he intentionally tried to do it or he was trying to make his way out, but I'm not scared of him in any way, shape, or form.
All right, Ms. Brock, I appreciate you coming.
He is who,
Okay, go ahead.
oh, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I was just gonna say he is who helps and provide for my two babies. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I'm not scared of him. I'm not in no type of danger with him. Uh, I do feel okay. I do feel comfortable to have communication, just no violent communication. And as I've stated, I want to get the time to just die down. So I left so that he could reside at that house because he don't have any family here.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Brock. I appreciate you making that statement. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Smith, is 37 years old. He's a college, actually, he's graduating this November 2024, having bachelor's degree. And right now, he does have renovation work that he is working. He has moved here to Georgia about 9 years ago, and he does not have any children. They don't have children together. Since she left, we would like to request for a one-time law enforcement escort a visit to verify that she is not there, then maybe he can move back to his place. We would like to ask for signature on bond through pretrial level 3. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. Defendant is gonna receive a $3,000 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case and stay away from the location on Campbellton Road. He can return one time with law enforcement to ascertain whether or not the victim is still residing there. If she has vacated, he can return to that location if she is still there. Otherwise, he must stay away. He additionally is to have no drugs, no alcohol or weapons, and he is reset to the all-purpose calendar on the 29th. Is there anything additional from state or defense?
Nothing further from defense, Your Honor.
All right. That's
We can just, if we can just make sure that his 19 CR 002-859G open battery and a bench warrant status is reset as well.
if you'll send us an email to Ms.
Sure.
Allen, that would help so that when they're making SAP calendar, it can be placed. All right, sir. Best of luck to you. Who do we have next?
Position number 11, Mr. Ward.
All right, and
Your
where
Honor, if you could put 413 in the translator and Ms. Kim in the breakout.
that's what I was just gonna ask. Can we go ahead and do that breakout, please? With Ms.
Yes,
Shea?
I got it.
And
Judge,
this
I'm just letting you know I'm playing double duty today.
I understand. Now, this is not Ms. Kim's case, to be clear, to be sure, correct?
This is Ms. McLeod's.
Okay, wonderful. All right, Mr. Ward, your case is 24 CR 005785J. You're charged with 2 counts of battery with the offense date of June the 30th. Do you understand your rights? All right. Mr. Howard?
First.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Allen, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. And for the record and completeness, Mr. Ward in position 11 is a co-defendant with Anaya Wood in position 13.
Okay.
This is the first arrest, I believe, for both of these individuals. This is an incident that happened on the 30th of June. Some investigation has been ongoing since that incident to include interviews of 3 different defendants, 2 victims, obtaining medical documentation, as well as information from their high school that they all attended at one point. In front of you right now is Mr. Ward. He is 19 years old and has graduated from Milton High School. He is charged with 2 counts of battery, Your Honor. The victim in this case, his name is Evan Sykes, and that's SYCKS. I may be pronouncing it incorrectly. I apologize. Specifically, between 6:30 and 7 p.m. on the date already mentioned at North Point Mall, this defendant is alleged to have caused a bloody nose and lacerations to the face of this young man during an assault. The young man in front of you and 2 of his friends approached Mr. Sykes, and a female friend of his started to assault the young man. This person in front of you, Mr. Ward, being the primary aggressor, 2 other people joining in. And it appears after some investigation, there is a significant portion of this on video that's captured. There is a 911 call that was hindered by the other victim in this case, and that recorded a portion of this incident. There was an ongoing or prior issue at the high school in October of 2023, which led Mr. Ward to believe he could just approach and assault someone in public. He was interviewed, he gave statements to police, and ultimately he's been arrested now on warrants after the completion of that interview. Because this is his first arrest, he's also been served with a temporary protective order in favor of the victim who I just sounded, Mr. Sykes. We'd be asking for a $3,000 SOB through pretrial level 3. No contact with Mr. Sykes, no contact with his co-defendant, Mrs. Wood, and an yet unarrested co-defendant, Mr. Jackson, first name Keon, Keon. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And of course, no contact with the victim. The other victim in this case is Taylor, Taylor. Last name is Mealor, Lore. Both of the victims in this case still attend Milton High School. So we'd ask for a stay away from that location as well.
Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to count for the first victim, and I believe the last name was Sykes. Is Mrs. Sykes present, wishes to make a statement? If so, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
And please state your name for the record.
Nathan Sykes.
All right, and I'm sorry, Miss Allen, the victim in the case was Evan Sykes, correct?
Correct. This is his father.
Okay, I'm only going to hear from the victim today. You'll have another opportunity to speak, sir. This is a bond hearing, and as I've explained, at a bond hearing, it's an initial proceeding whereby, and because it's a misdemeanor offense, he is entitled to a bond today. You will have another opportunity to speak on behalf of your son at a later date. And if there is a victim witness advocate on the line, will you please chat, Mr. Sykes? All right.
We've already been in touch with him, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm sounding now for Taylor Miller.
They're both on the line, Judge. I don't know if they want to talk. Taylor's on the line, and so is Evan Sykes. They both on the line.
You're not required to make a statement, but if you wish to, this is your opportunity. You can turn on your camera and raise your right hand. Okay. All right, Ms. McLeod, please proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
We would object to the signature bond being at level 3. This is my client's first arrest. Also, Your Honor, my client denies that he was the primary aggressor in all of this. It seems that there's been some significant history between all of these parties who attended the same high school. My client alleges that the victim, quote unquote, had made some racist remarks to him and I'd used some racial slurs and I continued to taunt him. There was some issue about a friend of his who has died, and the victim allegedly made some very, very insensitive comments to my client concerning his friend who had died. My client tells me that when this incident occurred at the mall, he was not the primary aggressor, and he maintains that position, Your Honor. So there's a whole lot to this story and to these young people. So I would ask the court, if the court is inclined to give my client a signature bond, not to make it at level 3. He is working. Level 3 would be asking him to report a pretrial, I believe, every week. That's excessive under the circumstances, given that he has no record. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to accept the state's recommendation. It will be at level 3. Defendant's going to receive a $3,000 SOB through pretrial at level 3. He's to have no contact with any of the alleged victims in this case or with the cross defendant. The stay away is a high school. Is that correct? What is
Your Honor, this incident allegedly
happened at the mall? Okay.
One moment. The stay away I'm requesting is for the high school, Your Honor, because the victims still attend the high school and the defendants have graduated from the high school. So the stay away is from the high school so that there's no further issues. These young people should be allowed to attend school without fear. The incident that
Ms. Allen,
defense counsel has.
If the incident happened at the mall, a stay away from the mall is more appropriate to me than a stay away from the high school.
That makes a lot of sense, except these folks beat up some kids and they're going to be at the high school.
We don't have a problem with, my client doesn't have a problem staying away from the high school. He's no longer a student there. But to say to someone that they can't go to a mall would be a bit much.
I didn't ask for that, Ms. McLeod.
Okay.
I know I'm the one considering it, because if we're all fighting at the mall, it seems like we have more opportunity for interacting at the mall than at the high school. What mall was it? North Point?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm gonna restrict them from the high school and the mall at this point.
Thank
there
you.
are other malls that they can attend. Have no weapons, drugs, alcohol as a condition, and defendant's gonna take a 1-day anger awareness course.
What is the breakdown, Judge? There's 2 charges.
1,500 on each count.
Your Honor, may I say something else? There's a whole lot more to this story than what the prosecution is alleging and what the warrants say. And it just seems to me that my client is being excessively punished. I believe that when all the evidence comes out and all the various allegations, there are at least 5 people involved here, 2 alleged victims and 3 alleged defendants.
I understand and I appreciate your advocacy, but I'm not going to go back on my decision. It's going to remain as set at pretrial. He's still going to be able to sign his own bond. There'll just be some additional things that need to be developed from here. All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Can we take the cross defendant case now? Ms. McLeod, is that your only case today?
It is my only case, Your Honor.
All right. Take care. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor.
See you as always.
The cross defendant is Kim's case and she's in a break.
Oh, it's a waiver. Okay. All right.
Oh,
So,
it's not a waiver. She's right here.
oh, she's here. Okay. Well, we'll keep going. That's all right. All right. Can we take the next position, please?
We can go to position number 12. Nope, not 12. Position number 6, Mr. Kim's.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Kim's, your case is 24 CR 005777F. You're charged with 2 counts of simple assault. Are you there? Was Mr. Kim's here?
Yeah, he's coming up.
Okay, move a little faster, Mr. Kim's. Thank you. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
12 total. On probation for ag assault, a deadly weapon, possession of a firearm during the commission. Also on probation for burglary in the first degree. 2022 FTA, 2016 pointing pistol at another conviction. That's it.
All right, Ms. Desiano, please proceed.
Your Honor, this incident took place on the 16th of August at approximately 7 in the morning. They were dispatched to, officers were dispatched to the Emory University Hospital, Midtown. The call stated that there was a male with a gun. They approached the accused who matched the description they were given. He was advised, I'm sorry, there's the officer who showed up on scene, and there's also the hospital security officers. So when the officer got on scene, he spoke with the hospital security officers, Zetrick Smith and Jamar Fordham. They approached the defendant who matched the description of the person with the gun, and the defendant pulled a knife on them and then ran away. He removed the knife, exposed the blade. Hospital security provided that description to the officers, and he was later detained. Your Honor, our office did request that this be upgraded to an aggravated assault. The DA's office declined to take it, but it essentially is an aggravated assault. He's already on probation for aggravated assault for pulling a gun on somebody. And then he's on probation for another matter as well. And I'm also showing that he has a previous ag assault from 2020 that was dismissed in addition to his conviction. And then, of course, the pointing or aiming a pistol at another from 2016 was actually also reduced from an aggravated assault. The state would be requesting a $1,000 good bond on each count, no further contact with Zetrick Smith and Jamar Fordham. Stay away from the hospital unless receiving medical treatment, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And our office has been in touch with both of those security officers today. They both confirmed the events in the warrant, and they would like no contact. Thank you.
Right, I'm sorry. And the last names were Smith and what was the other name?
Fordham.
All right. Are either of those parties on the line and wish to make a statement? All right, hearing none, Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, he is appropriately charged, we believe. He's local, he has a stable address, his sister lives here, he won't have any trouble making court. He is 11th grade education level, and because simple assault, we'd ask the court to consider. Let's see, what was the PSA on that? We'd ask the court to consider a signature bond. Thank you.
All right. Defendant's going to receive a $1,500 good bond, broken down $750 on each count. He's to have no contact with either of those. No contact with either of those security officers. Stay away from that location unless receiving medical treatment. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Let's take the interpreter case if we can.
Position number 9.
All right. All right, good afternoon, sir. Your case is 24 CR 005784A.
Buenas tardes, señor. Su número de caso es 24 CR 005-784A.
In this case, you are charged with battery family violence with the offense date of May the 20th of 2024.
Y en este caso, usted se está alegado del cargo de golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar, ocurrido el incidente el 20 de mayo del 2024.
You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you.
Usted tiene el derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que diga en este caso, de los hechos de este caso, puede y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney, and Ms. Kim is here today to assist you with this proceeding.
Usted tiene el derecho a ser representado por un abogado y la señorita Kim está aquí presente para asistirlo en este proceso.
As you can see, I'm conducting this hearing over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded.
Como ve, yo estoy llevando a cabo esta audiencia en la internet, en vivo, y está siendo grabada.
That means any member of the public can log on and watch this.
Lo que implica que todo miembro del público puede entrar a la plataforma y observar esto.
You understand your rights and how I'm conducting the hearing today.
¿Usted entiende cómo estoy conduciendo esta audiencia y cuáles son sus derechos constitucionales?
Sí,
Yes.
All right.
bueno, sí.
Well, yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Señor Howard,
It's third arrest,
es el tercer arresto
2011 and 2013, driving without a valid license.
en el 2011 y 2013 por manejar sin licencia.
That's it.
Eso es todo.
All right.
Your Honor, that's my case.
Ese es mi caso, señoría.
This is a delayed report. On the 16th of August, the victim in this case, her name is Guadalupe.
En el 16 de agosto del 2024, la víctima Guadalupe
Peñaloza, Penaloza.
Peñalosa.
She reported that there'd been an altercation that occurred in May the 20th of 2024, at about 10 p.m. at 414 Creekside Way in Roswell.
I'm sorry, 414?
Creekside Way, yes, ma'am.
One moment, please.
Scanned.
Guadalupe Peñalosa señaló que hubo un incidente el 20 de mayo del 2024 en el 414 Creekside Way, aproximadamente a las 10 de la noche.
The victim reported that she waited to make a report because she was unfamiliar with how the process worked.
La víctima declaró que ella esperó para dar el informe porque no sabía cómo debía proceder para hacerlo.
She provided photographs of visible injuries to her face dated May the 20th, 24.
Ella provijo fotografías y también lesiones visibles producidas el 20 de mayo del 2024.
Ms. Peñalosa said that her live-in boyfriend struck her during an argument.
La señora Peñalosa dijo que el novio la golpeó mientras estaban peleando.
She received injuries to her face, noted as red marks.
Ella recibió lesiones en la cara reconocidas como marcas enrojecidas.
The victim said that there had been prior incidences in the past.
La víctima dijo que habían habido incidentes anteriores ocurridos en el pasado.
The paperwork indicates that police also spoke to the defendant.
La documentación también reveló que la policía habló con el acusado.
who admitted that there had been prior violent incidences between he and the victim,
quien admitió también que habían habido otros similares incidentes entre él y la víctima.
and reported that he was intoxicated on the day of the incident and has no memory.
Y declaró que él estaba intoxicado en el día del accidente, por eso no recordaba nada.
We've made an attempt to get in touch with Mrs. Peñalosa today, but have been unsuccessful. For that reason, we're asking for an SOB through pretrial level 1 based on the fact that this gentleman has only ever been arrested for traffic incidences. But we're requiring and would ask the court to require no contact and to stay away from the location and no drugs, alcohol, and weapons. If at some point Mrs. Peñalosa wants to come in front of the court and ask for a modification, that's totally a possibility. But today we'd like to keep her safety an issue here.
Entonces, debido a esto, queremos pedir que haya una fianza bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio en el nivel 1, ya que sus anteriores incumplimientos se relacionaban a infracciones de tránsito, pero también pedimos que no haya ningún contacto alguno con la víctima, es que se prohíbe el uso de alcohol, drogas y armas, y si hubiese una modificación de estas condiciones, va a ser cuando se pueda contactar con la víctima, ya que hoy no se pudo hacer con éxito.
Right. Ms. Chancey, will you please sound for Ms. Penalosa, please?
Señora o señorita Guadalupe Peñalosa Arellano, ¿está usted presente en la plataforma? Por favor, prenda su cámara. Guadalupe Peñalosa.
I'm sounding for her as well. If Ms. Penalosa is present, wishes to make a statement, this is your opportunity.
Señora Guadalupe Peñalosa, si usted quiere hacer una declaración ante mí, esta es la oportunidad que tiene.
Hearing none, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, we have no objection, Your Honor, except that the place is his place, and my client says that they broke up and he moved out. So there's no need for him to stay away from his own place. What we can do is we can go there with a law enforcement officer to verify that she's not there, and then for him to return home.
All right.
Su señoría, no tenemos ninguna objeción ante las condiciones de la fiscalía, pero él ha aclarado que ese lugar es su casa y ellos se pelearon y la víctima se fue. Por eso queríamos solicitar ir con una escolta de policía para verificar que ella se ha ido.
All right, defendant is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial at level 1.
Entonces el acusado recibe una fianza de $3,000 bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio en el nivel 1.
He is to have no contact with Ms. Penalosa.
No debe tener más contacto alguno con la señora Peñalosa.
He's going to stay away from that location if Ms. Penalosa is residing there.
Él debe mantenerse alejado de la dirección o el lugar del incidente si la señora Peñalosa está presente en él.
He will return with law enforcement one time to make that determination.
Él va a regresar con un oficial de la policía para determinar si ella está o no.
And he is to have no weapons, drugs, alcohol as a condition.
Y se prohíbe el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas mientras esté bajo fianza.
Is there anything additional?
¿Hay algo más?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
I apologize for the bell ringing. Other than
Nada.
from friends.
All right, that concludes your case, sir. Best of luck to you.
Esto termina su caso, señor. Mucha suerte.
Ms. Chancey, before you go, will you please sound?
Yes, Your Honor. Buenas tardes. ¿Hay alguien que necesite un intérprete en español para hablar con la señora jueza hoy? Por favor, prenda su cámara y avísenos.
Hearing none, thank you, Ms. Chancellor. You have a great rest of your afternoon and your weekend.
You too, Your Honor. Thank you. Bye-bye, Ms. Kim.
Bye-bye. All right, who do we have next?
Position number 13, Ms. Wood.
All right, Ms. Wood, good afternoon. Your case is 24 CR 005786J, charged with battery. Do you understand your rights today?
No.
All right. Mr. Howard, the history.
First, she's 18.
I was gonna ask, is she 18 yet? Okay. All right, Ms. Allen, please proceed. I'm familiar with the facts, but anything particular as it pertains to Ms. Woods would be helpful.
So Ms. Wood is charged with the battery in this case, Your Honor. It's alleged that her co-defendant, who you heard about previously, was the initial aggressor in this altercation. Ms. Wood and her two friends approached after the initial assault and proceeded to engage in that assault as well, kicking and punching the young man whose father and the young man are on the phone or on the line. Mrs. Wood is the subject of alleged threats that occurred in October of 2023. That evidently is the reason why these young people felt it was okay in June of 2024 to assault this young man and the young girl he was with at the mall. Because she's got no history either, unfortunately, the seriousness of this case is a concern for the state. We would request a $3,000 SOB through pretrial level 2. We'd also request no contact with co-defendants, no contact with the two victims in this case, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, to stay away from the mall and to stay away from Milton High School. Same requirements as the young man that you just heard from or heard about, Mr. Dulani Ward, in position 11. She also has an active order for protection that has been put in place against her in favor of the victim in this case, the two victims in this case, or she should. But the victim in this case, Mr. Evan Sykes, is again on the Zoom. I believe he's accompanied by his parents, and the female victim is present as well. There's still one third co-defendant who has yet to be arrested, Your Honor.
Is before I sound for the victim, has this defendant graduated from high school, Ms. Kim?
No.
She has. You're muted.
Yes, Your Honor. She graduated from high school this May 2024. Her mother, Miss Cynthia Williams, is on the Zoom as well.
Okay. All right. I'm sounding for Evan Sykes again to see if you will wish to make a statement. You're not required to. And I'm also sounding for Taylor Mailer, perhaps. I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly. I apologize. I'm sounding for you if you wish to make a statement. Again, you are not required to do so. Okay. Hearing none, Ms. Kim, I'm inclined to give them the SOB through pretrial with the requirements as requested by the state. Any objection to that?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant, I will accept the state's recommendation. It's going to be a 3,000. This has two counts. Let's see. Yes, this is one count. Okay, defendant is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond at level 2 through pretrial services. She is stay away from Milton High School and from that North Point Mall. She's to have no contact with the cross defendant or any of the alleged victims in this case. Have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
They only did one charge over there.
All right. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good afternoon. All right. Who do we have next?
So she need a cosign or what?
She's 18, no, and out of high school. I'm gonna say she doesn't need one.
What was the name of the high school again? Milton?
Milton High.
One in felony, 3 in here.
All right. Who do we have next? Is there anyone else we can take?
Yes, we can go to position number 12, Mr. Ware.
That's it.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Ware.
He's coming up.
All right. Well, my thing just went away. Hold on. All right, Mr. Ware. He's 12. Your case is 24 CR 005783A. In this case, you have two counts, battery and criminal trespass. You understand, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, Mr. Howard.
19 total. Wanted out of Fayette County. Has TPO from another person. 2023 probation, 2015 stalking, trespass conviction, 2015 simple battery against elder person or pregnant person conviction, 2010 ag stalking, trespass, stalking, first offender, 2010 simple assault, disorderly conduct conviction.
All right, thank you. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred on, again, the 30th of June, I believe, 2023, or the 3rd. I'm not sure now. There's a typo on the calendar. I'll check. At 8:45 a.m. at the location 4060 Montego Bay Drive. Two women were in the yard and porch area of the location there. Mrs. Daniela Howard was visiting her friend, Mrs. Chanel May Smith. The defendant lives nearby. The defendant was seen walking into the yard with a green Publix bag. So a fabric bag that you take with you to the grocery store to put your groceries in, avoiding maybe plastic bag usage. That bag contained weights to weigh it down and make a weapon. The defendant began swinging that bag, and he struck the vehicle belonging to Mrs. Howard, Daniela Howard. They believe he was trying to break the window. When he was unable to do that, he used his hand and ripped the mirror of the vehicle off. That's the criminal trespass property damage charge. He then engaged in a physical altercation and struck Mrs. Daniela Howard there. She was the recipient of bruises on her wrists and her arms as a result. The defendant was also seen to have some injuries and was arrested. He was arrested on the 16th of August, so this is a delayed arrest, Your Honor. There's been a warrant for a period of time. Our office has been in touch with both of the victims in this case, Your Honor, and they confirmed the information in the warrants, but reveal some further concerns, which when you look at the criminal history of this gentleman, become apparent. Starting in 2010 here in Georgia, he has some history out of Florida as well from prior to that. I am counting misdemeanor stalking, felony level criminal damage to property, aggravated stalking, 2 separate convictions for that, multiple victims who have had to obtain orders for protection and then had aggravated stalking charges that this defendant was convicted of. The most recently, 17 SC 156356, where he has 2 felony convictions for aggravated stalking on the same professor at Georgia State University, as well as a probation violation, open felony obstruction in Muskogee County, and an open DUI in Fayetteville. Because of the severity, these people are strangers, should be able to live in their home, even if you live across the street from someone who seems to have fixated on you, and I believe that's the case here. These people deserve to be free from the threat of violence as well as stalking, which looks like it's the next step here. It seems that there are escalating issues. This is 2 counts right now, Your Honor, battery and criminal trespass. We'd ask for a $3,000 good bond on each of those counts. Absolutely no contact with the victims in this case. That's Daniela Howard and Chanel Mays Smith. Stay away from the location. Specifically, that's Miss Smith's home. We would ask for 200 yards, 4060 Montego Bay Drive, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons on bond. We would also request a MHET, Your Honor.
That was my next question.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Ware, I will be defending you, so please do not speak at all. You have a right to remain silent. We do not want to incriminate your case. Your
Okay.
case itself.
We're gonna, I was debate. I have a question, but I may be able to not ask it. Is Ms. Howard on the line, wishes to make a statement? If so, please raise your right hand and turn on your camera. Hearing, seeing none. Ms. Smith, I see you. If you would like to make a brief statement again, I'm going to place you under oath, but this is a bond hearing, which is an initial proceeding. There will be further opportunities for you to flesh out the facts of the case If you disagree or wish to add to something that Ms. Allen said, that's not what I'm concerned with. I'm most concerned with how you feel about your safety. So with that in mind, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you put your hand down. What would you like to tell me?
I just would like to say that I feel extremely unsafe for me, myself, and for my children. And I mean, for that's first and foremost. I mean, he lives directly across the street from me. I live in a ranch style home. He can see directly into my home, and he is obviously fixated on me. And I just feel very, very unsafe for, like I said, myself and my children, and especially my daughter, with him standing outside my home with no clothes on and saying that my daughter needs to see his genitals is an extreme concern for mine.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Smith. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement today. I know that
And
was
Your Honor, if I might just add, you know, these situations tend to escalate. There is a lot of information that could be shared, but I will not share on the Zoom today. If you'd like to talk about it further, we can with the defense. But the defendant has most recently switched his mailing address to the address of Mrs. Smith across the street from him. He has made contact with her minor child, and has expressed that she, Mrs. Chanel May Smith, in front of you, belongs to him. And so what we are experiencing is an escalation, and there's a cycle that has repeated in the past already.
I think I got the flavor, Miss Allen. Ms. Kim, my real question is your thoughts regarding the MHET, and if we have to have a more robust discussion, I'm hoping we don't, but I want to know what is the defense's position regarding that.
He does have a treatment outside, Your Honor. He has a doctor's and medical plan outside, so he should have just complied to that. And BHET will be what we would like to request for. And he resides there, Your Honor. He completed up to 12th grade. He does not have a GED, and he has been here in Georgia for more than 23 years. And Your Honor, we have no objection, but we would like to have a signature on bond through pre-trial. Since he's not employed, he has no financial means to pay for any bond. Right now there's a $5,000 surety bond, so I don't want that to be going up at all. Instead of 6,000, maybe we can have 5,000 as set, or even lower, maximum 1,000 per each. That would be great.
All right. It's going to remain as set at the 4,000 on the battery, 1,000 on the criminal trespass. We will begin with the BHET. He is to stay away from that location where the victim resides. I'm not clear if the 2,000 yards is possible, but I'm not going to exclude him from his own home. However, he's not to be hanging out outside. He needs to go directly into that home. If he sees the alleged victim outside, he should turn around, go in the other direction, and go immediately into his house. He is to have absolutely no contact whatsoever with Ms. Smith or Ms. Smith's daughter, whether through social media, email, phone. He shouldn't even look at her. He additionally is to have no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons as a condition, and he is going to the all-purpose calendar on the 29th. Ms. Kim, do you know when the social worker will be out?
Probably Monday, Your Honor.
Okay. If there is indication that he needs to be reset somewhere else, to a different calendar, will you please send an email to see if we can reset him to the Thursday calendar versus the Tuesday? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
This is a Thursday calendar, Judge. I just need to, it is,
Okay,
it's a Thursday.
If
It's a Thursday.
if it's possible, we can address it both ways. I think I'm doing SAP that day. Okay.
Okay, I was just
And Your
wondering,
Honor,
do you want
just
to keep
to,
it on? I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. Go ahead.
I just want to know, do you just want to keep it on SAP?
Yes, because if it doesn't need to go the other way, we're not going to put it we can't put it the other way without the order to put it, and we're not doing the order yet.
Also, okay, can you repeat the bottom amount, please, on those both charges?
5,000, 4,000 battery, 1,000 criminal trespass.
Thank you.
Yes,
And
Ms.
Your Honor, if we could just request that there be, if there is a current treatment plan and a current resource for this gentleman, that there be mention of that in the bond order. He should not be released without some verification that he is in treatment or there is some kind of plan in place. We haven't heard anything about.
I'm not gonna do that at this juncture. I'm waiting to hear for I'm assuming, does Ms. Kim, you said that he is employed or he was unemployed?
No, he's not employed, Your Honor.
I doubt until that VH happens, Ms. Allen, he's probably gonna still be sitting there. So I'm hoping once we have more information from social work.
My understanding is that he lives with his mother or his stepmother. The information from the defense is that he doesn't work and he's unable to pay a bond, but he's out on bond for a 2022 DUI. He's able to travel to multiple counties and commit crimes.
What we'll do is
so there's a concern.
He needs to comply with all treatment, but I'm not gonna require proof of that to release him from the Fulton County Jail. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Ware. Who do we have next?
Position number 1, Mr. Davenport.
Okay, Mr. Davenport, your case is 24 CR 005775A. Is Mr. Davenport coming?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. There. All right. Thank you, Mr. Davenport. In this case, he's charged with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass and damage. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes.
I'm assuming that's a yes. Thank you. Mr. Howard?
Hey, officer, did Davenport get a bond on that felony charge?
No.
No bond? Okay. 12 total. He went to court for a CWAC. Got a bench warrant as well. 2022 ag assault, cruise in the third. 3 counts and terroristic threats out of the cab. Open battery out of Fulton. Got another open case, trespass, possession of a firearm by convicted felon or felony first offender. Giving false name, obstruction. On probation in the cab for ag assault, terroristic threats. 2022 FTA, 2021 FTA, 2015 probation, and 2014 parole.
Mr. Howard, were you finished?
He's muted.
We lost you.
done.
What was 2014 what?
Parole violation.
Parole. Okay. Thank you. Ms. Sesiano?
Your Honor, this incident happened November 20th of last year. It's a delayed arrest. An officer was dispatched to a dispute call at 2301 Godby Road. The victim in this case is Kenyatta Jackson. She stated that she and her boyfriend got into an argument. He was calling her offensive names and accusing her of cheating on him while she was on the phone with her uncle. She told the defendant to stop talking to her that way, and she eventually told him to leave, and she initially called 911 to get him to leave. And at that point, it escalated. The defendant became more aggressive, and while the victim was on the phone with 911, went into another room and broke her television. And as he was walking out of the house, he punched her in the face and left her with a bruise, and her mouth was also bleeding. At the time of this incident, the parties reported they'd been together for 3 years. The defendant was living at the defendant's apartment for approximately 3 weeks. And Your Honor, I think that's notable here because there is an open battery case involving the same victim, 21 CR 005566. In that case, he's alleged to strike her and throw her into a wall when she told him that she didn't want to be with him anymore, and she had multiple bleeding cuts on her face. That case happened in 2021. Judge Law ordered him to have no further violent contact with Ms. Jackson and ordered him to stay away from 2301 Godby Road and a one-time law enforcement escort. Your Honor actually heard this case initially and ordered no further contact. And then I believe when he got on SAP, it was amended to no further violent contact, but still that stay away. And of course, this incident that happened 2 years later is at that same location, Your Honor. The CWAC that he had from this morning is an incident involving the victim's daughter, and also at the same incident location he's been ordered to stay away from. The state would be requesting a $5,000 good bond on this case, Your Honor, $4,000 on the battery, $1,000 on the criminal trespass, absolutely no contact with Ms. Jackson, a stay away from the incident location. I think FVIP may be appropriate here, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and if the court can sound for Ms. Jackson.
All right, is Ms. Jackson present? Let's just make a statement. Okay, I don't see anyone with that name. Mr. Davenport, you should avail yourself of your right to remain silent and allow your attorney to represent you, okay? Mr. McLean, please proceed.
Your Honor, he works in a company that services swimming pools and does things on people's homes. He had a job even prior to that in landscaping. So he does work. I called his family and they confirmed that despite the thing that said homeless, or it said residentially challenged, he has a stable address in a nearby town with his mom. That would be suitable for mailing purposes. I can chat that. I can put that in chat, so it's he'll be able to get his mail. I would ask the court to consider a lower bond than that, and to consider it all the way down to signature bond, of course. But if the court were not inclined, something in the neighborhood of $2,000 to $2,500.
Defendant's going to receive a $3,000 surety bond. It's $2,500 on the battery family violence, $500 on the criminal trespass to equal that total $3,000. He's had no contact with Miss Jackson. Stay away from that location. I guess he needs the one-time escort to return. I will allow that on a one-time basis, even though he should not have been there to have anything there. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and he is also going to all purpose on the 29th. Is there anything additional?
Your Honor, if we could just make a note to put his other case on SAP as well.
If we please send an email, no one is going to remember.
I got it. I will.
Okay.
We will do that.
Okay.
Not guilty.
Miss Lewis is so gracious. All right. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we go to position number 5, Mr. Jones.
Your Honor, if I might just revisit Mr. Bontu Ware, would you consider requiring a cosigner for him? I asked Miss Kim if that was something she was aware, if she would be okay with as well, but I hadn't heard back.
I have not been able to discuss that with my client. I object as of now, Your Honor.
There's no issue or concern about competency.
We're going through the steps that we probably need to talk about that in a breakout. So let's just put a note on that in a minute. Let's keep moving.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry, I forgot where we were.
5, Jones.
All right. Mr. Jones, your case is 24 CR 005787. Why you're charged with theft by shoplifting. Understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
30 total, 2024 shoplifting. On probation out of Fulton for shoplifting. Got an open theft by taking false statements, 23 CP 215578. 2019 probation, couple of probations from 2018, one from 2017 and 2016, 2014 forgery in the first degree conviction.
I think that's good. Thank you, Mr. Howard. All right, Miss Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. A review of this defendant's criminal history shows that he's got 2 prior shopliftings. He actually just pled to shoplifting in municipal court, but it was a no-low plea. So just for that reason, this case isn't a felony that we can transfer. That was 24 CR 005376. He just pled guilty to shoplifting June the 25th of 24. He does have an open felony theft by taking and false statements as pretrial alluded to. His criminal history starts in Georgia in 1994 with a felony conviction for theft by receiving Z67063. This incident happened on the 16th of August at 4:40 maybe p.m. at the Kroger at 590 Cascade Avenue. The defendant, police were dispatched to the location and he had been detained by security. The assistant manager reported that he had been at the location previously and been arrested. I'm sure they were very excited because that was the June 23rd incident that he just pled guilty to in municipal court, and he was back. He was on scene and he had taken into his possession numerous items of merchandise, household and grocery items, including meat, Ensure, soap, etc. The items were valued at $150.92. The defendant was taken into custody and given a criminal trespass warning, Your Honor. We would ask for a $2,000 surety bond to be ordered to stay away from the location. Again, that's 590 Cascade Avenue. That's the Kroger there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, he works for a demolition company. Before that, Phoenix, so industrious in that field. He has a stable mailing address with a department number that we've confirmed. We note the items. We understand what the state is saying. The food, the meat items, and the soap, and that sort of thing. Your Honor, we would ask the court to consider a lower bond than the state asked for, down to and including the idea of a signature bond. However, if the court were inclined not to give a signature bond, we'd ask for it to be $1,000 surety.
All right. Defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to stay away from that Kroger, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, and he is going to be reset to all purpose on the 29th. Anything additional from state or defense?
Nothing.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next? All right.
Number 7, Mr. Kurtz.
Go ahead, Edwin.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Kurtz. Your case is 24CR005780E. You're charged with battery, family violence, cruelty in the third, and criminal trespassing, damage to property. You understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
31. Last arrest was on the 12th of this month for trespass. 2022, 2023 probation. 2021 FTA probation. 2018 and 19 probation. 2018 felony obstruction conviction. 2017 probation FTA. 2016 probation and 2014 FTA.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sessiano?
Your Honor, this incident happened September 10th of last year. Officers responded to a dispute at 1989 Cannon Court, Apartment A in College Park. The victim in this case is Arkia Williams. She shares a child with the defendant. She stated that the defendant was upset over some juice. He left, and when he came back, the door was locked, and he started kicking the door, damaged it. When the victim approached the defendant to get him to stop kicking the door, he started punching her with a closed fist, leaving bruises and marks on her chest and hands. This occurred in the presence of her 9-year-old son, initials JW. I believe that is the defendant's stepson. We've been in touch with the victim today. She states that they've been together for 6 years. They have a 4-year-old son, and then the stepdad to the son and the child at issue in this case. They all reside at a different incident or a different location at this point on Riverwalk Drive. She stated they do not have a DV history. She's not afraid of him. She confirmed the events in the warrant and states that she would like to continue contact and would like him back home. Your Honor, I respectfully disagree with the notion that there's been no DV history. There was a previous case that was subsequently dismissed for want of prosecution, 21 CP 198962, pending before the Fulton County Superior Court. It was the same victim, and in that case, Your Honor, the defendant was accused of arguing with the victim in her vehicle while she was driving and then smashing her windshield. He was also charged with cruelty to children in the second because their other child was in the vehicle at the time, and that child was initials MK. Of course, that case was dismissed, but I think the court can see that there's a history here between these two individuals. I'll defer to the court as far as contact, but the state's position at this point is, although this incident did happen a year ago, the state is requesting no further contact, just based on the prior history between the parties. And Judge, the state's requesting a $2,000 good bond in this case, $1,000 on the cruelty, $500 on the criminal trespass, and $2,000 on the battery. I'm sorry, my math is wrong. $3,500 good bond. No further contact with either victim. A stay away from, well, we don't need to stay away because they moved. Family violence intervention program, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if the court can sound for Miss Williams, I believe she may be on the line.
All right, Ms. Williams, if you're present, please turn on your camera. If you'd like to make a statement, you are not required to.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear? No, we see your right hand, not with a drink in it. Thank you. Please raise
Oh,
your
no,
right hand.
I don't think you were looking when I first did it.
Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. I'm most concerned with any concerns you have for your safety and desires for contact with the defendant. In light of those instructions, what would you like to tell me?
That I guess, like she said, there was a prior case or what have you, but I'm not fearing for my life. And my son needs his dad. His dad has to go to work. We do live together currently. He have to pay the bills because I don't pay rent here. So I was just trying to figure out, like, especially with the no contact, how would that work? Because he is my son's dad. Our 4-year-old Tyler.
All right. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement. All right. Ms. Kim.
Yes, we would like to request for no further violent contact. This happened a year ago. They have moved on. They are engaged to marry very soon. Your Honor, they have a different location. We just asked for signature on bond through pretrial as well. Level 3. Thank you.
All right. Defendant is going to.
We couldn't hear you, Your Honor.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not finished. I'm mathing over here. Give me one moment. Okay. Defendant is going to receive a $5,000 surety bond. It is $3,000 on the battery family violence, $1,000 on the criminal trespass, and $1,000 on the cruelty. He's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. He is being reset to state all purpose on the 29th of August. Is there anything additional?
Nothing
No, Your
further.
Honor.
All right.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
We can go to position number 4. So you guys can do the breakout, and then we have 2 waivers.
Okay. All right. We're gonna go into the breakout now. Can I go in the breakout with Mr. McLean, Ms. Desiano, Miss Allen? I'm sure would like to come. Miss Kim, would you like to come as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anyone else that needs to come, please use the raise hand so that we can put you.
Okay, Judge, I'm sorry. Who all that need to be the breakout with their cameras on?
The whole back row.
Okay.
Forum 2 is clear, so I don't know if we need to be in the breakout.
We still need to go in
Okay.
because there are other parties not, it's not just county employees on the Zoom.
Okay.